Hello everyone, my name is Sullivan D. Cohen, Sul for short, and behind me is a rice cooker, a box of cornstarch, aluminum foil, wire and wire clippers, and a can of coffee. Because today I'm going to be showing you not only how I make my figures, which by the way if you're just now tuning in and you don't know who I am or what I do comics like the ones on screen right now, and I use this little guy and a bunch of others that are not in the room with me right now to do them with. I make these entirely by hand. All of their clothes are designed by me out of scraps that I get from using clothes and them being destroyed over time. This is silicone clay. I'll show you how I make that. This is regular clay. I'll show you how I work with that because I don't make that. I just buy it. These are piercings, but Carl is not going to have piercings. Oh, yeah. I just did an amazing collaboration with TR Dewehu. I do find that hard to pronounce, but I find most things hard to pronounce despite being a writer. I did an amazing collaboration with him where I did the illustrations for a story that he narrated about Carl Quest, who is a alternate universe version of Conquest. I don't watch Invincible, but I had a lot of fun with the characters and with designing everything and putting it all in my own style. So first things first is deciding on his height. Now, for these skeletons, I use a mixture of this for, of course, the appendages. So his arms, his legs, his from his neck to his dangly bits. Those aren't hooked up to anything. I tried that, actually, but that's a different story. And then in the middle is polythermal plastics. I hope I am saying that right. That is how I know them. They are essentially plastics that when heated up get very soft, and then when they get cooled down, they get very, very hard, and they're perfect for making joints. Like he has one here in his chest, and he has one here in his hips, butt, for lack of a better word. And that just keeps everything in place, and it also helps me shape. He does have little butt cheeks. I don't know if I can show that on YouTube. He has a little butt. He has a cute little butt. And that is partially from the thermoplastics. It allows me to have some control. He has little pectorals here. And as I am developing my methods on making these figures, I am figuring out better ways to give them more dimension. So I'm going to start by first measuring him. I would like Carl to pretty much be his exact height. Paul is one of my largest characters. He's not the largest, but he is among the tallest ones. So I'm going to start by measuring out his legs, and then we'll go to the torso and the arms, because I just want very similar proportions. So now I have my legs, my torso, which I have marked by putting a bend where his head is going to be, and my arms. Nothing has to be exactly, perfectly measured. As long as it's around the right length, it's fine. You're not going to notice if something is very, very slightly longer or shorter. As long as it can stand in the end, you did good. Next up is the thermoplastics. I only need a very small amount to begin with, and the rest can stay melted in here for when I will come back to them. Be very careful with this stuff when you're working with it, because it can trap little bubbles of very hot boiling water inside of it as you are working with it. So let it cool down a little bit. You have a very high working time with this stuff. It honestly takes a while before it becomes totally unusable and you have to remelt it and start over. I'm going to start with two relatively similar size, it doesn't really matter. One of these is going to be his torso, and one of these is going to be his hips. So with this first layer of plastic, I am just going to give like the basic structure. I'm not going to add any butt cheeks or pectorals or anything else. This is just to keep everything in place while I'm working with it. If you are as impatient on cooling time as I am, by the way, this is still moldable and I can't really work with it, just use an ice cube and it will cool much faster. And once I have my skeleton pretty much dry, it doesn't have to be super sturdy, but as long as it keeps the basic shape without moving when I bend it or anything, then it's ready to go. And now I add the second layer of thermoplastic. So this is where more of the shaping comes into play. Carl is a bit of a big guy, pretty muscular, pretty thick, so I would like to make sure that he's got nice big chunky pecs. The more dramatic I go with the shapes here, the better it will be once I put on the silicone, because it will fill in these areas. And now we've got a basic little shape here. I do not typically do this with figures too often. A lot of my figures are more on the skinny side, but I'd like to beef them up a bit with some aluminum foil. Aluminum foil will keep some of his torso movement in the middle, while also section and giving him a bit more of a defined figure. Stop falling. Carl's midsection is acting a bit cursed here, and it keeps pushing his hips down and out of his body, which is not a good thing. But once the silicone is on there, everything's going to be held together. So what I'm probably going to have to do is just hold him kind of like this for a while until the silicone is on and everything is, you know, not like this. Now comes the fun part. Now that we have our skeleton together, we get to get onto the skin. This is a box that I have pre-filled with cornstarch. Cornstarch is my base for my silicone clay, and I tint it by using just makeup. I was looking at these two colors for Carl's skin, because I want him to be a little bit on the tan side, but still very pale. So I'm just going to scratch some of these off into the cornstarch. I'm just going to do the slightest little dab of silicone, just to test and see what the color is going to be. Now, if I keep enough cornstarch on my hands, it keeps the silicone from sticking to me. And I do try to keep the silicone off my hands as much as I possibly can, because, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's okay or not. I've been doing this for a few years now. The most I've gotten is like some mild skin irritation from scrubbing it off after, but either way, I've gotten pretty good at keeping it off my hands, but I would recommend you use gloves. Don't be dumb like me. So that is going to be our final skin tone for Carl. Now I have my mask on. I never use this stuff without a mask. I have a little cup of oil here. This is going to slightly extend my working time, and it will help the silicone bond to itself as I'm working with it. I have my tinted cornstarch, and we have our little buddy right here. I have put the sample silicone around his midsection just so we're not losing any silicone. And he has little clay feet so that I can stick him right here when he's ready to dry and he won't be touching anything. When I'm working with this stuff, I have like 10 minutes to get it to look exactly how I want. So I go very fast. I'm not going to be doing any commentary. I just want to get this on here Once it's on there, then I will start shaping it with the time I have left. But the most important thing is just getting it on there as quickly as possible, because this stuff starts to dry very, very quickly. Now that I have him pretty much completely covering his skeleton, his skin is pretty all covering it. I'm just adding the olive oil. You can use pretty much any oil. I have found the best oil is baby oil. And not only does it help the silicone to stick to itself and gives me slightly more time to work with it, but it also keeps it off of my hands pretty effectively as well. And I would say that his body is pretty much done just in the nick of time, because as usual there's noise all over the place. We are back some hours later to work on his outfit. I have this little shirt that I made off screen, just a simple little shirt to make sure that I got his proportions right. Alright, so yep, looks like I did my proportions correctly. Now he's got a little white t-shirt, and I'm gonna work on the flannel next. I have these little buttons that I made off screen as well. These are literally just that plastic stuff that I use. Squeezed into a ball, smushed, and then pricked 4 times with a needle. I have a video on my TikTok on how I made these actually. Like right to here, just so that I have some to roll up for sleeves. I don't know how that will look, but we will work with it. And I think it's too small. I have returned with a much more appropriately sized shirt. Now, since this fabric is so thin, before I add the buttons, I think I'm going to put down some tacky glue and put down some streaks here so that it has more to adhere to. So that is the buttons done. So now all I'm going to do is make the tiniest incisions that I can all along here, right where the buttons would come through. Okay, and now the only thing I think I have left to do is I just want to add some puffed sleeves around here so that I can hide this edge. Alright, now with the shirt pretty much done, I'm going to move on to the jeans. So I am here on day 2 of working on Carl here, and since my phone battery actually died, so I didn't get to show the full making of the jeans, but they look great. No belt because it's going to be covered by the flannel anyway. He bends, he moves, everything is going pretty well with him. So I'm going to work on his head next. Alright, I would say that's pretty proportionate. So that can move on to the bake pile. And now his shoes. So now I'm just putting a thread, a needle, through all these holes just to make sure that it will fit, because later on I'm going to put actual thread on the boots. And one more time. Alright, they fit. Time to put all this in the oven. And so I have my husband recording right now.
I may have not used cat shampoo the other day.
He used cat shampoo, and he was going to do it again today.
No, I was going to read it this time.
Anyways, as I was getting to, I am just adding his skin tone now.
You did a really good job color matching to the clay you used.
It could be better.
It might dry a little. Same.
Cool had I gone over the hair with black first, so that when I went over it with the lighter colors, it would show through on the bottom, but I don't think it matters too much.
You're gonna forget a scar again?
Fuck! Did I seriously?
How's it look?
It would look better had I done this before he was dry. First, I'll just go over it with this, just to make sure that it's all the same color underneath.
I think the term is blended.
You know, you have options with Androids. God damn it, there's a gnat in my wine. Whatever.
Are you gonna drink around it?
May as well. What, are you gonna get it out for me?
No, I mean it's alcohol, so it's sterilized.
Yeah. Extra protein, that's what my parents used to say.
I was just gonna excuse 11 filth.
Whenever bugs would get in my food at a picnic or outside or something, they would always just say it's extra protein.
No, I don't think that's gross.
Do bugs even have protein?
I assume so.
I'm sure they do. I think all living things have at least a little bit of protein. I think.
That's actually really gross if there's a bug in your wine you're still drinking it. I think that bug's still alive.
Then get it out.
Oh, I get to put my finger in there.
I'm not asking you to put a finger in there. You can go and get
the boots, baby.
Those are boots.
Are they with the fur?
Where's the titanium? I'm gonna add some titanium.
Who makes that titanium?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross, please sponsor us. Their Conquest is coming out. Carl Quest, sorry.
Carl.
Is that what he calls him, Mike?
Yeah.
He's actually looking really good, too.
He does. Yeah.
You alright? Did you stab yourself?
No, you're in my face.
Sorry.
Okay. So, I'm just going to finish doing his makeup.
He looks really good.
Thank you, baby.
Get the goat simulator ready to go.
Alright. Maybe a little dusting.
What are those?
Does he stand?
Let's see. He stands.
Yeah. And now, let's put his flannel on.
So
I was
handsome.
gonna cinch the flannel, but maybe I'll do that later.
Such a handsome man. What a distinguished gentleman.
And there we go.
Finito.
There's Carl Quest. His arm kind of came out of the socket. I'm having a hard time putting it back in. But yeah, if I ever do any animations with him, he'll get his hands. But for now, what do you think?
I think he looks great.
I went with green, like an electric green, just so that they stood out. Because I figured brown would